Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Alonso, your host of the Leaders with a Heart podcast. I have another special guest, my new good friend, Mary from the beautiful New Orleans and the French Quarter. And being French myself, that's a place that's very special to me. So that's another a place I would love to travel and visit as soon as I can. Mary is a very successful and established professional. She has a publishing house. She writes co-authored books, and we're going to talk about it. Most importantly, we're going to talk about, as I love doing on my podcast, is to look under the hood to see what's inside of the heart of the person. We're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation. We just had a brief conversation earlier, and she's definitely a leader with a heart with a very contagious smile. She has a beautiful and wonderful mission. She's here to serve love on purpose and support others in serving in their soul's mission. So that's a mouthful, but it's a beautiful one. We're gonna, un, you know, uncover that in a few moments. So first of all, Mary, welcome to the show, my friend.
Why, thank you, Payman, for having me. I am really just delighted to be here in your presence and in the presence of your audience. So thanks for allowing me to show up with you.
You're welcome. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for accepting being here. All right. So first of all, as I said, I'd like to have a heart-to-heart conversation and get to know the person behind the title. What makes you happy?
Ah, what makes me happy? Seeing others showing up authentically, seeing others really feeling the allowance and the permissions to be themselves, especially in my presence, because that's what I really hold a space for. I love when people, humans, spirits, souls are really just being who they are. It really makes me happy. Um,
Beautiful. What makes you smile?
oh, all kinds of things. Obviously, joy, inner harmony is like my frequency. But truly, what makes me smile, being able to share with others, being part of the inspiration, being part of the lasting change that we are here to create. Love makes me smile.
Beautiful,
hmm
beautiful. What makes you sad and angry?
I don't wrestle with those. Sadness I wrestle with is just permission to allow whatever needs to leave energetically to leave. That is giving my feminine an opportunity to relax. I don't I don't play in the motion of the anger much anymore. I haven't always been that way, but I believe to see everything, or I choose to see everything, as a gift. And so anger is not really part of my frequency.
Beautiful. Love that.
hmm
Love that. What scares you?
Oh, maybe falling a little bit into what I like to call the human condition. I don't like to be in a place where I'm feeling like I have to attach to something or I have to show up a certain way. Those kinds of things do make me uncomfortable. I like to be all of me, all in, all the way. And so things that approach me like that expect something or just feel like I can't be who I am, that's scary to me. That's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Now, for people that don't know you, who's Mary?
Who am I? My gosh. Well, I hit the ground running really, really early in life, and I believe now that I can say that it was to have as much experience and everything that I could ever possibly get my hands on. But um, from a bigger place, I'm serving. I'm a servant here to help others find their way. A soul mastery coach and all those delicious things. But I am love. I am here to really get us to a place of unconditional love.
That was absolutely mind blowing when you said, I am love. That's wonderful. Wow. I wish we had more people, having that same view and philosophy in the world.
Yeah.
If that were the case, the world would be a completely different place.
Mm.
But
Yes.
there's hope. More and more people are, coming to the good side and waking up each and every single day.
I believe if we keep showing up as who we are, I believe that is the best and
Mhm.
fastest way is showing up as me and giving others the same permission to show up as them.
And to inspire them. Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Be the
Let me
example, right?
absolutely, absolutely be the shining light. Yes.
Yes.
Let me ask you a couple of fun questions. You know, when we were kids growing up, everybody asked us, parents, teachers, family. So, Mary, what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer back then?
Oh, this is right off the tip of me. I just wanted to be a bright, shining star.
Wow.
And my sister had a shirt that had it, and this came to me just last week in another conversation, and that's what I always see. She had a shirt with a big star and a rainbow, and I'm like, that's my desire. I must have been 7 or 8. That's who I want to be. I want to be not a star in Hollywood. I want to be the brightest shining light for however I need to serve, whoever I need to be. I wanted to share my gifts with the world. I know that I am an empath in that sense, but I am also a very aligned leader. And so when you get yourself into that place, being an empath isn't really that challenging.
We're gonna come back to that in a moment, but still sticking with the school. When you were in school, what was your favorite subject?
Math.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
I always did well with numbers.
Mm. What's
Hmm.
your favorite number?
Oh, 8.
Why?
Abundance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Infinity
Same thing.
sideways. It really is a frequency of just, and abundance is not having things. Abundance is feeling free.
Mm. Yes. And when you were in school, what was your least favorite subject?
History wasn't for me. I'm a light worker, I think, so history wasn't my bag.
Too heavy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You
Hmm.
know, looking back at your path right now from the time that you left school, how was your path? Would you say that once you get into one path, it was smooth sailing all the way to here, where you like most people like turns and twists along the line? You had to change
Oh,
course a few times, completely different industries and directions. So tell us about your path. How was your
I
path?
love this question. The first thing my path is an
Okay.
adventure.
Mm,
I hit the ground running. I left at 17. I got married. I just went. My path has always been an adventure. You can call it a roller coaster. I have learned to switch gears on a dime, but I can look at all of it and see the beauty and realize that life was always happening for me. So if you're asking me in this moment, my life path, smooth, ease, and flow. But yes,
wonderful.
yes, there were some things that shifted. Yes, there were a lot of experiences that taught me beautiful and valuable lessons, and that is why I feel as though that I can serve on such a broader and bigger and more authentic platform.
Amazing, beautiful. Now, I'm sure you heard the saying, "Change your story, change your life." We all had to change our story a few times in order to get back close on the path to reaching our goals and dreams. When you had to change your story to change your life, how did you do it? Did you do it on your own? Did you do it with mentors, with books? So tell us about how you had to change, how you
Uh,
change your story.
I It's funny that you would ask that. I didn't like to read. I have a publishing house, yes. I didn't always like to read. And in fact, when I was going through some of my most trying times, there were some books. Eckhart Tolle has some really profound
Mm-hmm.
messages. I read a lot of soul books as well. Um, but I begged for a mentor, especially just it was 2013. I begged for a mentor. I begged for somebody to come along and be beside me. And I got the same answer every time. I am creating the mentor. And so my mentor was not of human existence, because I was being created as the mentor. So there were some challenges in that, but I always just got on my knees and got in my place and show me the way today. But yeah, there are some books. I haven't specifically hired any coaches. I feel as though I have the coach that I need. And so changing my life was a matter of seeing things as the gift that they are. How did this experience happen for me?
You know, when you mentioned that you begged for a mentor, by that are you referring to begging and prayers or deep down wanting to reach out to actual people so that they can become your mentors?
It was deep down in it was more send me a mentor, send me somebody that could coach me through this. And I never received any human mentor. Nobody was going through quite like I don't think that anybody, I think people were going through it, but I believe now that it wasn't for me to be tainted by their experience of what they went through. In fact, I was to learn and lead from my own experience.
Okay. So, and when you received the answers from your prayers, how did you receive it? Was it through intuition, to your gut feeling, or through dreams, or how?
I believe in intuition more than I believe gut
Mm-hmm.
feelings is dropping it down to my ego, and I don't live in that place. Very intuitively, very trusting, and very much letting go of the fact that I needed to do something. It created a lot of change in me because I am a doer and I am a go-getter. And obviously, when you hit the ground running at such an early age, you know that I'm very motivated and determined. So it was a lot of intuitive shifting, frequency, emotion. It was mostly intuitive. I don't recollect my dreams very
Wow.
well. There are some, but not during that time. It was more about just believing.
Speaking of
It's always
mentor,
mhm, mhm.
go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
It's always like if you see it, you'll believe it, and then it
Absolutely,
can
yeah.
shift from if you believe it, you'll see it, and then it shifts to knowing.
I had a conversation about 2, 3 weeks ago with a great woman from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and she said something similar that we need to get back to listening and trusting our intuition because our intuition is our best friend. It's a message coming straight from God, from the universe, from the one, from whatever you want to call it. And since we're kids, we've been told to suppress that so that we can be polite, we can be friendly, we can be nice, and that's not always the best thing in our best interest for us because our subconscious mind, our intuition knows best for us. Its role is to help us and to guide us and to protect us. So we need to embrace our intuition a lot more. So that what you said just reminded me of that, and that's very powerful. Because a lot of time when we're facing a situation, instead of looking inside, the first thing we do almost by reflex is look for outside guidance, whether it's parents, friends, teachers, or God forbid, government, or bosses or coworkers. And that's I get it. I'm not here to judge, but instead of that, we should look inward because we have all the information, all the guidance, all the wisdom inside. It's something we need to dig further. Speaking of that, do you have any tips for someone to be able to listen more carefully to their intuition, to look more inward as opposed to outwards when they're looking for guidance?
Everybody's a little bit different in the way that they can respond to that, but a big part
Mhm.
of it is something that would seem challenging when I say it. Be silent and
Mm,
still. Give yourself an opportunity to just be. And sure, when you start that practice, we can call it meditation, we can call it anything. It is the practice of saying, okay, I'm just going to sit. I'm just going to be here. Set a 5-minute timer and just be there. Yes, the thoughts are going to roll through, but do just let them roll through. We don't have to attach to everything that we're thinking. That's a choice. That's the other thing that just came up too. Remember that everything, and I tell my yogis all this all the time, it's always your choice. Your choice has never been taken from you.
absolutely.
It is always your choice.
We
So
have free will.
stillness. You have
Mhm.
free will. Stillness, just giving yourself permission to be still. Don't wait for the enlightenment. Just be still and practice. And just again, 5-minute, 3-minute timer. When I was going through my divorce, it just brought something up. I remember hearing there was one piece of sound advice that I received from a counselor. Go ahead and schedule yourself in a pity party. Go ahead and put yourself on a timer and schedule the
Wow.
pity party. So you're not pitiful all day. Schedule yourself time to release your emotions. Releasing our emotions has been voodoo since I started breathing my first breath. Releasing
Absolutely.
your emotions is clearing your frequency. It's allowing your feminine, mostly allowing your feminine energy to be released, to be cleansed, to be cleared.
I love that. Couple of questions that came to mind while you were talking. First of all, you said you got a piece of advice from your counselor. Is that a physical counselor? Or is it a spiritual counselor?
It was a physical counselor at that time. I went and saw her
Uh,
one time because I believe that we should always give something an opportunity. And that was the good pity party. I think I didn't see her after that. I started scheduling pity parties.
and then you mentioned something equally powerful. You said you listen to your feminine side. So I understand that even men can have a feminine side, but do you have any tips on how men can get in touch with the feminine side?
I so a lot of us, even women now, we get really attuned to the masculine, organized.
Uh,
It's part of our upbringing. It's part of the energy and the atmosphere. Succeed, success, go, 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 go. Honor it. You have to first recognize that there are two. There is a duality. We all start in a duality. There's two: a masculine and a feminine. The masculine is organized and always go, go, go. The feminine wants to be still. She wants to sit pacified. She wants to be have the emotions balanced. Um, Recognizing, really first recognizing that there is that. I think that's a big thing that we don't realize. There is two energies at play here. And once you recognize that, then you can do the work of creating balance. I do a lot of energy healing, and I do a lot of that for my clients. And I say that because sometimes we're so far in that we do need somebody to move things. But as an individual, recognize who you are. Recognize that you are a miracle and that you are made up of these things, as all of us are. It's hard because these aren't things that we were taught coming up. It certainly wasn't taught to us in the third grade that there is a masculine and feminine energy working in your body, or I wasn't.
Neither,
Um,
me neither.
it was what I heard was go, 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 make money, climb the ladder, get up as high as you can in the eye of success, and then what, right? And then crash
Exactly.
and burn. Crash and burn, I guess, because
Jump off the window, choose your poison,
but I think a lot of the work that we need to do in coming into our wholeness is recognizing, saying things out loud is powerful. If you don't feel like it's friendly, just be by yourself. But saying things out loud, hearing ourselves, taping yourself saying something out loud, a mantra or something. I use a lot of mantras too.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful. Love yourself. That's the most powerful medicine.
Oh
Come
wow, that's
back to you and
beautiful.
love you.
Do you have any tips on how to love yourself? For someone that
Gosh,
has been going through a lot of negativity in their lives, and where do we start in order to
you know,
stop all the negativity and the toxicity and just start loving yourself?
I think what really triggered me to go in that deep was realizing that, recognizing again that, how could I say that I love you, Payman, if I don't first love me? How do I
Exactly.
even know that that exists? How can I give you something that I'm not recognizing for myself? And so that was it. It was pointing the finger back at me, and
Mhm.
I just kept saying, I can say that I love you, but if I'm not loving me, and what does that mean? It means honoring all of me, honoring when I need a break or when I need a rest. It means listening to the self-talk and really saying, I don't need to do that. It's being kind to me. It's being compassionate to me. It's being all the things that we say we are to others, to me. Putting myself first. And again, not something that we have been, not the seed that was planted in us, because I know the definition of selfish. And so, the other definition, selfless.
Mhm.
I just rewrite the definitions now.
Love that. That's the best shortcut. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
I'm not really doing it for you if I'm not doing it for me. And so that's where I drew the
Exactly.
line. I wanted to be authentic. I knew that I wanted to truth tell. So I had to go in there and do that. Starts with me.
Abs- Absolutely. Wow. That's the thing I love the most about this podcast is listening to amazing people and learning from them because real education starts the moment you leave school, especially when you connect with other, not only just successful entrepreneurs, but enlightened souls, enlightened human beings. That's when you learn the most. Wow, that's amazing. I love that. So now let's switch gears a little bit. Tell us about your business. What are you up to?
So currently, I am Divine Destiny Publishing CEO and founder, and I am wrapping up a multi author book titled Align Leaders. These are stories, sage wisdom from women who are choosing their soul's mission over societal expectation with no regrets, right? In freedom. And I have two spots left, but my registration is closing tonight at midnight Central Time. So that's the biggest project, holding a container for 25 beautiful and inspiring women who also have come to create lasting change. And that is what my publishing house does. Obviously, it's Divine Destiny. It is about coming to the wholeness in me. And that's a daily practice, by the way. This is not like, oh, I'm whole. It's daily, coming into the daily practice, but holding a space and creating a container of soul mastery really is the bottom line is what I'm getting of getting in and coming and showing up and shining, which is what my podcast, if it ever comes alive, will be called Show Up and Shine. Turn your
Love
light
that.
on. That's why you have a light. Turn it on. So
Love
that's what
that.
I'm currently working on in Divine Destiny. And me, um, I offer spiritual, they're called the Journey of the Heart retreats. I have a place in Sedona, Arizona, and I offer weekend retreats and I offer 21-day soul immersion retreats
Wow.
in that space, which is one of the most profound energies in the United States, right up there with Peru.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is part of me, and I do a lot of soul mastery coaching.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So how often do you hold these events?
The weekend retreats, I usually offer one every other month. We've had some shutdowns in Sedona because of the fires. So I've got another
Yeah.
one in September. They're very small and intimate retreats, 3 people max, because you want to create a nice container so everybody can get what they
Mm-hmm.
need. So usually 6 times a year. The 21-day soul immersion, that is a custom retreat. And so those are 3 weeks for a month, so 21 days. And so I'm offering 3 times a year that I'll spend those doing that. And
That's
those are
amazing.
custom and those are created for individuals. And that's when the dates are all planned based on the individual's need. They're called Sedona Soul Immersion 21-day adventure
So
because
wow, I love
everything's an
that.
adventure.
Absolutely. Life is an adventure itself. Yeah.
It
So
is. It
when
is.
someone joins one of these adventures, say for 21 days or whatever, once that time is finished, those 21 days, do they get any other support in terms of say a membership, videos, calls? Tell us more about the structure of your program.
So during that time, I'm holding a space, just a container just for you. Leading off to that, I do a lot of coaching on Zoom. So everybody's different and every package is different and designed based on the needs of who is in front of me. I
Mm-hmm.
do offer coaching online. And so if we feel as though after that 21 days that we need to meet on a weekly basis or a biweekly basis or a 2 times a week basis, these are custom built packages because I'm not going to lock you into something that you don't need.
Exactly. Yeah.
I serve my clients and I'm not over serving my clients. My role is to get you fully exposed in your light, and you don't need me. You don't need me anymore once you've uncovered your light. I do have a lot of offerings outside of that, though, that again, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways to work with me even beyond that. I have a yoga membership online because I do believe in the practice of yoga getting you closer to knowing yourself. I offer breath work, I offer meditation, I offer Reiki healing. shamanic healing. There's a lot of modalities in this vessel. And I just cater to the needs of each individual client. So everything with me starts with a one-on-one call, because everything with me is about serving you, not me. I'm not here to serve me. I'm
Love
here to
that.
serve you.
Love that. Earlier you mentioned that you do energy healing for your clients. Tell us more about that.
So I am trained as a Reiki healer. I am a master healer. I have been in this modality for 12 years. And so I work both online because, COVID kind of spun everything up. And I still actually physically see clients here in New Orleans and in Sedona when I'm there. And that's basically being the vessel that I came here to be, being a conduit of universe, source, God, divine, whoever it is that you serve. I am a vessel to allow that energy that you need, because universe knows what you need. And I do a lot of hands-on. So I do some reflexology on your head and on your feet when I've got you in person, and then I just help release some of that stagnant energy. There are some deep-seated traumas, even from past lives, that we can't always get to ourselves. And so there are healers, there are people, there are vessels out there. There are angels, light workers,
You
that
channel?
are there to help you. I do channel. I do a lot of intuitive work, actually in the French Quarter on the weekends professionally.
Wow,
Professionally, actually, we have an office space, and I do a lot of
amazing.
channeling. I'm working on the modality of hypnotherapy and NLP. I'm being
Wow.
mentored in that right now by a very dear friend of mine. And there was something else coming through for that. I read palms. Yeah.
So let me ask a question. Let me ask a
Uh-huh.
question. I'm not gonna ask you what do you do. What do you not do then? That's amazing. Wow, such a talented person.
I always tell everybody, and you can see this on some of my Facebook lives, but it's so true. I am living beyond any dream that I could have ever created for myself. And the one thing I can tell you that I did, I gave my life to the one. Not my will, but yours. And that is what changed my life, because that's why I'm here. We are here as souls on a mission. The human condition, Fluff, is the holdback.
Yes,
And
totally.
so it goes right back to acknowledgement, acknowledging me, recognizing what really is the purpose of life.
How did you get into that purpose you mentioned? You mentioned that earlier when you were a young girl, you realized that you wanted to be of service to help. Was that a single event that made you realize that, or was it a succession? You knew that deep inside of you from the earliest time that you can remember.
I would say that it's a series of all of these kind of
Hmm.
experience, being being in my power enough to make it on my own at 17, to really step out into that. I knew that I didn't want to do what anybody else wanted me to do. I knew that I wanted to follow my own dream. I was very fortunate with all the people that showed up in my life, so I didn't feel like anything was hard. Um, I can't tell you that at 17 I knew that I was intuitive or that I was going to discover all these gifts. I believe that we all have these gifts within us. And if we can clear the way, if we can clear the stagnations, the beliefs enough, we can start recognizing the gifts. I think one of the most profound moments where I really just said, okay, was my life shifting after 22 years of being married. And you know what book fell into my hand? The Purpose Driven, Rick
Wow.
Warren's book. It's The Purpose Driven. And after reading, it's a 41-day book. And after reading that, I would never be the same, because
Do you think
the
that
perfect, yeah.
do you think that was a complete luck, or was it something that was planned for you to cross path that book?
I think that it was all in right timing. I believe in divine timing. But can I tell
Mm-hmm.
you what I looked up, because I was at my wit's
Sure.
end, or I wasn't at my wit's end. I was at a place like, okay, I don't want to serve myself anymore. I'm not getting any satisfaction. I had the marriage, I had the house, I had the kids and the dogs and the cats and the blah. I sold it all.
Same here. Yeah.
I sold it all, and I shifted. I Googled, what is my purpose? I remember where I was. I just saw it.
Wow.
I was in the kitchen, and that was okay. I'm right here, and I don't know what else to do. What is my purpose? And so that book came up, and I said, okay, I'll read it. Never the same. You know how many people I invited to read that book? Gobs. I Gobs. There was one person I wanted to ask, and I thought, no, 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 and I did. I finally did. Read this book with me, and they did, and then it just spread like wildfire. It just
That's
what, and
incredible.
that's, I just wanted to know what I just, and probably I was in my, somewhere in my mid early 30s. You
Everything
know.
happens. Everything happens for a reason and the right moment in due time. The power of synchronicity is absolutely phenomenal. You know, when it's meant to be, and the universe just brings the people, the books, the tools that you need to get where you're meant to be. That's amazing.
Yes, yes.
How did you feel when you realize, hey, this is my path? What was your inner thoughts at that time?
There's always that, like, oh my God, can I do this? Am I capable? Because that is a limiting belief, and I'm going to tell you that right now. That another limiting belief of I like to call it the devil and the angel, but that is my holdback. Um, it was a moment of scariness. But if I can tell you, Payment, I knew that I wanted to go all in, because I've never half-assed anything. I knew
Mhm.
that I was going all in, and I knew that it wasn't going to look like anything else that I've ever done. And I knew that I was going to lose some people along the way, and I knew that I was going to gain some things along the way. But at one level, I just let it go. I just surrendered. In my mantra, and every day, I surrender, I release, I remember,
Wow,
because
love that.
we came here to do something. And if you surrender, you can let go of the expectations and remember from the present what you're supposed to be doing.
How do you truly let go at a deeper level?
You practice. It's a daily practice. That's the caveat. A lot of people, you'll get up and put your clothes on to go outside every day, right? What stops you
Yes.
from practicing connecting to your highest self every day? What's stopping you from being the love and the kindness that you came here to be, that you want? The freedom.
Hmm.
It really all is making a choice. You choose. And I know that
Choice,
that
yes.
seems, oh, that's too easy.
Too
Guess what,
cliche, yeah.
friends?
Hmm.
It's that easy. It's that easy. Like, I always use that analogy. You get up and put your pants, well, most people get up and put their pants on before they leave. Right? It's a choice. Everything in your life is a choice. If I decide that I'm going to the deeper level, I'm going to take action and go to the deeper level. And
Love that.
I'm going to go after it every day.
Mary, I can keep listening to you for hours. I'm just spellbound. You're just dropping and value bomb after value bomb. I have to definitely rewrite this myself. It's phenomenal. Wow, amazing. Tell us about the most remarkable example of transformation so far that you've seen from one of your clients going through your programs.
I love this. It just recently happened, because I'm not saying that I forget about what happens
Sure.
to my friends, but I took one of my dear friends. She takes yoga with me, and finally she felt the frequency, and she went to Sedona with me. And what I didn't know, and I'll try to sum this up as quickly as I can, is that a lot of her trauma started in childhood, at a small little airport behind her friend's house. And that's where they
Wow.
started, doing whatever they do. We get into childhood things that are bad. And what I didn't know any of this. And so the last day of our retreat, one of the places that I was led to take my guests was on, there's an airport in Sedona. and we went up there and we did our last meditation and connection. And I ended up driving her to the airport that day, and she just cracked it wide open. She said, I just came full circle.
Wow.
And you didn't even know. And I'm like, no. And that, she said, all of the things really started for me at that moment where my friend and I used to go in this little airport just outside of her backyard and do all these things. And that's where my addiction started. And that's where it all started. And you just took me there on the
Wow.
last day of our transformation time here. And I was
Amazing.
able to clear 36 years.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah, again, I don't profess, it's not me, it's something bigger, but I love being the vessel for that kind of change, for that kind of revelation.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Most people, clients, will not share their testimony. So when they do, again, I don't boast in it. It's not mine. I just, the way it makes me feel good is knowing that I'm doing what I came here to do. And that's helping others find their way.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of most of your clients not sharing their testimonial, after this call, I will share with you a way to get testimonial like almost foolproof 100% of the time. So that's going to be
Love
after I
that.
share it. All right.
Thank you, Payman.
As welcome as a way to give back. Now, um, the uh, the theme of this podcast is as leader of the heart, meaning what cause are you most passionate about?
Oh, you haven't figured that out yet?
Yes, I do,
Love,
but by that I mean how
love. Hmm.
for example, we build businesses with impact either for a cause or a purpose. For example, I said for me, it's going to be for each pair of my product I sell, I will be donating a pair of eyeglasses to someone in
Hmm.
need. So, are you giving back to community or causes that are dear to your heart through your business? And if yes,
So
which one?
through Divine Destiny Publishing, all of
Mm-hmm.
the royalties and proceeds of all and every multi-author project that we will ever turn out goes to a charity. All the
Love
proceeds,
that.
all of them. I do a lot of giving myself with my own personal soul mastery coaching and my own retreats to multiple charities. I do lean into some of the children's charities. I'd like to see the youth get what they need. Um, and then I have another spiritual setup every month that I give to.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that when we had this conversation earlier before going live, but I just wanted you to say it live. So I didn't want to say it myself
Oh, of
because
course, yes,
because you're the
yes,
star of
it's
the show, not me. So it's my guests were the stars, not me. I tried
mhm,
to be as
right. Of
in the
course, thank
background as
you. Yeah.
possible. You're very welcome. So tell me, um, imagine now that you have a time machine and you can go
Mm.
back and meet face to face with your 18-year-old self. What would be the first piece of advice you would give to your 18-year-old self, knowing all that you know now?
Do it just the way you did it. Don't
Mhm.
change a thing.
Please expand a little bit on that.
Everything. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't
Mhm.
change anything about my life. None of it. None of it. I I wouldn't change anything.
Even the darker one that you regret.
Never. That
I
is who
agree.
that is why I am who I am. That is why I understand, and that is why I know. I wouldn't. It's funny because I've just signed up to release a chapter in a book called Younger Self Letters, and that is my opener. Don't change anything, and I'm going to tell you why. And that's going to be the story because everything has a purpose. Every experience is a gift to
Absolutely.
inspire someone else. And
A lesson.
if I go change something, I'm not using my gifts and I'm not inspiring another.
Very well. Beautifully said. I couldn't say any better because
Mhm.
I mean, all have had some very tough, dark places, but me, I would not change them because even though they were dark and tough, it's in those moments that I grew up the most, that that I learned the most. Because if
Mm-hmm.
life was all, beautiful and rosy, it would be kind of boring,
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't learn, you wouldn't grow as much as, but yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. Now, still thinking about the time machine. If you could go back to any time, any period in time, past, future, whether it's a million years in the past or a billion years in the future, to which time period would you go and why?
You will not like my answer, but I just want to be right here, right now.
Wow.
I'm not looking for that or that. I'm looking to be here. I'm looking to be
Mhm.
present, wholehearted. If tomorrow is my last day, tomorrow is my last day. I'm just want to be present. And that's how I coach. Be here now, because that's life. Life isn't happening way up here or down here. And I learned that again on my mat the other day. I was trying to fuss with some kind of decision. And you know what came? Do you want to live now or later? I want to live right now.
Beautiful. Some people, live too much in the past and people live too much in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up missing the present. And they don't understand that life and future is a succession of presents, and present
Mm-hmm.
in both ways, literally speaking and also metaphorically speaking, it's a present.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is where I'm being intentional. This is where I am. And so, me being here right now is how all that is created. Me being here
Absolutely.
right now. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. If so, you mentioned that you don't have your podcast yet. We're going to get that in a moment. So imagine that you did have your podcast, and today you have the most amazing, the most special guest in the world, which is yourself. What will be the first question you want to ask yourself? And don't think too much. What is the first question that comes to your mind spontaneously?
Who do you think you are?
What's your answer?
What is my answer? I am a
Yes.
butterfly. I am a butterfly. Freedom, hope, grace, love,
Wow.
infinite.
Love that.
I am a butterfly.
Love that. Amazing. When I mention the word superpower, what comes to mind?
Ah, superpower. What is my superpowder? Powder. um,
Baking soda.
I know, right? Is it baking soda? Is it glitter? What comes to mind? Superpower, authenticity, voice,
Mm,
truth, truth.
amazing. Now imagine that you were to God were to come to you and say, "Listen, Mary, you've been an amazing human being, an enlightened soul, and I want to reward you. You can choose any superpower for the rest of your life, but only one. Which one would it be?
Oh, I can choose one or any? Is that what you said?
Just one, just one.
Unconditional love.
Wow, that's amazing. So beautiful. Hmm. Now, if you were again, because you're such a enlightened soul, and God were to tell you, "Listen, I want to nominate you to be the president, not of the U.S., but the president of the world." What would
Mm.
you do to change the world and to make it a better place?
I would first start with energy healing, and I know that you might think that that's funny. I would first look into to checking in with frequency, energy healing. I would wave that magic wand of that. I think that sending that intentional, pure energy of clearing the way for people. Um, I don't know that that's the best answer, but it really is the first thing that comes to mind is clearing the frequency of the world, clearing the frequency of the people. I think clearing the frequency of the world clears the frequency of the people.
I agree, because we're at the end of the day, we're all frequency, energy, and
Hmm.
vibration.
Hmm. If we could come in as beings and learn as we go without this massive belief system that is coaching. And I get what people say. Well, how would I have ever learned not to touch a hot fireplace? The same way you learn not to touch it when you touched it. Our
Because if you tell someone
experience.
not to do it, they will want to do it 10 times more,
Our experiences are invaluable. And it's
Un-
not fair to say
let me
no. Go ahead.
let me take your thinking a step further. You said our experience is the most valuable thing. And I'm saying, aren't our experiences our most valuable assets
Mm, possibly so, yeah.
with our health and the time we have?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
something that no one can take from you.
No, no. They can
No
try.
bank,
They can try to change it or shift it, but yeah.
no thief, no bank, no government. Well, they're all the same anyway, but you know. Cool,
I
awesome.
hear you.
We're not gonna get any further, so we'll leave it
I
at
just put
that.
myself, I put myself in a magic bubble every day.
Exactly. You're amazing, Mary. You're amazing.
And
All
you
right.
are as well. It's so
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you. Um, and to wrap things up, do you have any parting tips for anyone that just watching and listening to this?
Be willing to do the inner work. The
Most
outcome is
important thing.
love. I mean, the outcome really, if you want to know what does that mean, what is the inner work? The inner work is coming to a place of unconditional love. And what that means is truly looking at somebody and loving them, not expecting, not judging, just simply allowing them to be who they came here to be and loving them for who they are.
Amazing. I love that.
But you have to do that for you first.
All starts from within. Yes, absolutely. And if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
I have a website actually. It is yogaetc.booty. I know, BOUTTE at Yahoo. I'm sorry, Booty. Let me go again. It's yogaetc booty BOUTTE.com. I was trying to give you my email address.
Hey, wait,
I
B
opened
O
it
U B O U. Okay.
TTE.com. I owned a yoga studio in a little town called Booty, Louisiana.
Oh wow, amazing.
And so that's how it came about. And once you get a website going and you put it all together, you don't really want to go changing the name. It doesn't make it easy, but it's yoga, ETC, BOUTTE.com. Or you can look me up
Beautiful.
on Facebook, which is Mary Sullivan Gooden. I'm there too, Gooden. But yeah, I'd love to serve anybody that feels like it resonates or needs something. Here I am.
Absolutely amazing. Well, listen, Mary, we can talk for hours and hours, and you're true. Not only you're a true leader, but you're an enlightened soul. But we'll probably have to do that first for a part two in a few months. Do a follow up and catch up, especially once your book
Mm.
has been launched, and we can talk about that. But for now, I will salute you. You're a true leader with a heart, and most importantly, a beautiful, enlightened soul. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless, and we'll keep in touch. Take care, my friend.
Thank you,
Thank
Penman.
you very
Thank you
much.
so
Really
much. I
appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Take care. Bye bye.